Our guest today is Chris Seilkop, President and CEO of the Volusia Flagler YMCA. Chris has spent his career leading nonprofit organizations, overseeing multi-million-dollar budgets, and guiding major facility expansions to better serve local families. He's also a four-time U.S. Paralympian, bringing both personal resilience and professional vision to his leadership. Chris, welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's wonderful to be here.
Well, we're very happy to have you. And I know that the YMCA has been a fixture in Volusia and Flagler County for decades. So from your perspective, how has the Y evolved and developed to embrace and meet the changing needs of individuals and families in the community?
We do it by listening. We listen to our membership, listen to the community. We want to try and fill in the gaps of what's not being served, who's not being served in the community. So, back in the 60s, there was hotels. And the Y was actually at one time the biggest hotel vendor in the U.S. Then Howard Johnson came along and took that title. And then after that, it was childcare in the 70s and 80s when the moms started entering the workforce. And then we stepped up and became the main childcare provider. And then in the 80s to the 90s, it was wellness. And in that time, also swim lessons is a big part of what the YMCA does. So we evolve by listening and finding out what's the needs of that particular community, because it changes from one community to the next.
Well, that's a great explanation of that evolution. Where are we now then? Where is the Y now, and what are some of the big things that the Y is focusing on? Have we moved beyond wellness?
We moved beyond wellness. A lot of it is some chronic care. We've gotten into cancer rehab. Once you have your cancer care, you have the next step of exercising. We've gone into partnering with some physical therapy companies where they come into the YMCA and provide a step down for heart rehab situations. And then we've also gone into the field of nutrition, and some Ys provide food. And our YMCA, in fact, is looking at going out into food deserts in our community and providing food down on the road. So it's gone well past wellness, well past the gym and swim, into other areas where we've been told, hey, there's a need here. Can you fill the need? And we say, well, no, we'll give it a shot.
That's wonderful. So as you describe that, being a financial guy myself, I'm thinking there's a lot of costs there. So how does the Y then, embrace and address those expenses, especially for families perhaps that, couldn't otherwise afford? How does the fact that you are not-for-profit figure into this so that, other people can support this mission of helping people, especially people who wouldn't otherwise be able to afford participating with your organization?
Right, that's a great question. It's through many different channels of funding. One, you have your program revenue, and then you have your membership revenue. And then we'll have grants. So we would have an example is Volusia County. They have a swim program where they give us funds to provide swim lessons for those in need who are financially need the help. So we have what we call $5 swim lessons. And we provide hundreds of those every summer. So, and then we have the contributions that individuals make for programming. So our goal is about 10% of our budget comes from fundraising, and those are from the private donors. And that's the funds that we give out to individuals so they can take advantage of YMCA programming, because we have a mission that no one's turned away for need. So anyone who comes to the door, we'll figure out a way for them to get involved in the Y.
So you do that through a reduced membership, or even maybe a no charge membership to help people?
Well, it's never free.
Okay.
There's always
some cost.
There's always some cost. So if we have a single parent mom with 3 kids, and she says, hey, I can't afford the $80 or $110 for kid, we'll say, well, what can you afford? And then when they fills out a form, her expenses, income, and we have a sliding scale, but worst case scenario, we'll say, look, just buy the shirt. So at least she has skin in the game, and they're paying for the direct cost of what a t-shirt costs, and then for $10, the kids in the program.
We spoke about this earlier, but I want to come back to it. So, how it does the Y dispel this idea that it's a, as you put, swim and gym only, and then how does financial support from the community through donors, how does that impact that ability to provide that greater range?
Well, the financial impact is so important from the donors, and we try to tell the story to our donors. We have thousands of them every year that donate from $2 to $1,000 in the YMCA, and we try to give them stories from the kids. But I'll give you a stat that many people are amazed at. 1 in 3 kids in our after-school care program, in our summer camp, are on financial assistance. And and any given day, we'll have 500 kids in our programs after school, 700 kids in our summer camps across the association. So when you think about 1 in 3, that's a pretty significant number receiving financial assistance.
Well, what I love about that is you're changing trajectories. That's what I call that, where you're helping somebody who may go down a path of a less healthy lifestyle, and they can learn and be involved with an organization and a place they can go where they can be exposed to a lot of good, healthy stuff.
Oh yeah, well, of course, and even what we serve as snacks.
Right.
So we looked down and we made a change a few years ago. So instead of serving fruit juice, which everyone thinks is a great source, but it's high in sugar,
Sure.
we try to encourage them to drink water. So all of our snacks, we try to put in fresh fruit. We don't have anything processed. So we give a snack, we give a meal in the morning time and at lunch for our summer camp programs, but we try to make sure that it's the best energy producing meal for the kids, because we're going to put them to the test. We're going to put them outside running around, exercising in the gym. Our kids just don't sit down at the table all day.
Right.
We got them doing stuff. We got them being active. So they got to have the calories and the proper nutrition so they can be active.
Lift weights, put down the phones.
That's
that
right.
sounds like a campaign.
I like that idea.
You can use
that's
that.
Pretty good.
That's really exciting. Can you share a story maybe where you've seen one of these initiatives really work well because of the community philanthropy and support?
Yeah, we have a program in the Port Orange YMCA where we had a donor. His kids were involved in the Y. He came up to the swim team, and they had a real calling for the special needs population. So this donor, he funds a week of swim camp for the special needs population, and his daughters come down and they volunteer in the summertime. They're off from college. And most of these kids have Down syndromes or they're autistic. And those are the ones that really need the swim lessons the most, because their learning is sometimes at a much slower pace than other individuals.
Sure.
So it takes a lot more patience, and some of them have an accelerated fear of the water. To get them in the water, get them comfortable, but many get them what we call, drown proof, but just be able to get out of the pool.
Yeah.
And not panic if they do fall in the pool. And then the next level is get them the proper swim technique and learning how to swim.
Excellent. Well, it sounds like you've got wonderful programs, and I think the community can certainly step up and support what you're doing, Chris. So thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Chris Seilkop, thank you very much.
Thank you.